Self-esteem is the idea of self-worth and the product that comes after that in how you act. That being said, it seems like many high schoolers don't have much of any self-esteem at all. Most of this I would like to attribute to social media, though I also know it's a lot of peers around us telling us that we might not be the best, or that we suck, or that we're less worthful than another student or coworker or online influencer, whatever it might be. These people we surround ourselves with online, being people that might not even talk to you, so influencers, and the people in real life are what makes up our self-esteem. If you were told every day that you were the best, most creative person, most handsome, most beautiful, that your self-esteem would skyrocket, right? You would feel great about yourself. You would feel like you were the most unique and productive person on earth. But this constant comparison from others and ourselves onto others creates a perfectionist attitude and self-loathing. This perfectionist attitude is something that most people will never complete, all right? What I mean by that is we are trying to be the best that we can be when a lot of that stuff relies on human error and genetics. Whereas you can see, I used to have really bad pimple problems. I've gotten a little bit more under control now, but it's still an issue. And that's a large part of genetics. That however much I wash my face, it's not really going to go away. I'm still going to get quite a few pimples. Is there a bit that I can do? Yes, but there's only so much I can do, as I naturally get pimples around these ages because of hormones. It'll eventually go away, but in these teen years where we're going through changes and developments, it's gonna suck, you know? So this perfectionist attitude on something that we can't change is part of what makes these self-loathing attitudes towards ourselves. Sex is also a much more widely talked about topic. It is more of a novelty than it has been for previous years. Like in elementary school, middle school, we started to develop this kind of understanding of sex. And it was known, but not as much as it is now through high school. In high school, it's now very much at the butt of jokes. There's a lot of jokes online about sex and masturbation. It's used as the butt of a lot of media. And because of this, it's become kind of novelized a little bit, where a friend brought up to me a joke about when fine shite is giving me head and she high-key chops off my dick. It's funny, but because it's been so normalized like this, people think that it's normal to kind of hook up with each other. This hookup culture really kills real connection between each other. Which, in vice versa, when someone gets attached after one of these experiences, or someone tries to engage in one of these experiences with someone who they may feel strongly towards, and it doesn't go well, it doesn't end well, it is such a more detrimental effect because of this novelization. How does this tie into self-esteem, though? When this denial of this novelty that has been so normalized gets taken away from you, it can lower your overall self feeling of worth. The denormalization of sexual interactions will help increase overall self-esteem, as it won't be such a common thing among people, and that way it won't be as novelized and it won't lower other kids' self-esteem. Moving into the next topic, we have friends who have nothing good to say to you. Now, a lot of people refer to these guys as toxic friends or toxic relationships that you're in that you need to get out of. Now, a lot of these people don't have poor intent. They mean it as a joke, or they mean it as, oh, I'm just being funny, blah, blah, blah. But a lot of these things do stab deep. It's like a knife, I guess you could say. Sometimes they go too far and they don't understand this. Now, if they have nothing good to say, you need to tell them. If they're genuinely a toxic friend and not fun to be around and they're only there to bring you down, then that is somebody you need to get out of your life. But if they're just don't understand how hurtful their actions are, maybe you can kind of talk to them, and you need to, like referencing one of my earlier videos quite a few days ago, I talked about how discussion is going to decrease loneliness. Discussion is going to increase the understanding between you and this friend if they are bringing down your overall self-esteem. Now, it's important not to engage in this activity as an argument, because let's be realistic, nothing good comes out of an argument, because an argument is trying to prove a point. With discussions, we're trying to reach a common ground. Because of this discussionary attitude, you're going to find that a lot more times, if you go into this with a discussionary attitude, what's going to happen is you're going to get more done, you're going to be more understanding, and you can see both point of views. But you need to have an open mind going into this. It can't just be one-sided. You can't think, oh, they have to understand where I'm coming from. You have to understand where they're coming from too. There's always two sides to a coin. The lack of comments in our society plays into this friends who have nothing good to say attitude, where, at least for my fellow men, we don't receive a whole lot of compliments, really, ever, all right? So giving your friend just a compliment once in a while goes a long way. And this goes both ways, where to help yourself and others increase your self-esteem, you got to kickstart that in your friend group. You got to start dishing out compliments. You got to be that positive ray of change. Where if you start complimenting people, what's going to end up happening is you're going to see that reflect back onto yourself. The more positivity you put out into that friend group, think of it like a circle, all right? Or no, a water balloon. A water balloon, all right, it's empty. It's got no positivity in it. But the more water you pull into there, the more it's going to fill up. That water doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't just go out of the balloon, right? In this sense, we're imagining that the balloon can't burst, right? But the water doesn't just come out of the balloon. It stays in there, right? Unless somebody pops it, so it can burst. Unless somebody pops it with that hatred, then all that positivity spews out. So the idea is that you need to be the positive ray filling that water balloon, and then that water will come back to you, because it doesn't leave the water balloon, it doesn't leave your friend group. The positivity is still there, and it's gonna increase everybody's self-esteem, and eventually it'll increase yours. So being a nicer person and a better person will, in the long run, increase your self-esteem. That is my biggest tip to you. If you are a nice person and you give compliments and you care about others, your self-esteem will get better. You will feel better about yourself.